Assalamualaikum and good morning. Okay, I will be in charge on this Lab9 two-port network for this week. So in this lab, we are going to test by simulations the values for Z, Y and H parameters. Okay, the first parameters that we want to investigate is the Z parameters. Recall from your lectures, Z parameters is actually open circuit parameters, where we have the equation for the Z parameters, always two equations, V1 and equation V2. So for this lab, you're going to experiment the concepts of finding the Z parameters by using open circuit test. So let's find the first open circuit test is to do at the output. Okay, where when we do when we let the open circuit, meaning that the current will be 0. So when current I2 is set to 0, my red box indicates the value are 0. So when you have a 0 values here, so wherever the second column of the Z parameter becomes 0, that will gives you the equation V1 and V2 only in terms of I1 values multiplied with the Z values. So therefore, you can obtain Z11 and Z21 by simply evaluating the values of V1 and I1. Same thing with the open circuit test at the input side, where in this case we let the current at the input side I1 is equals to 0. So which gives you the equation V1 and V2 are in terms of I2 only. So therefore, you will have your second column of the Z parameters simply the value of the ratio of V1 to I2, and where Z22 is V2 over I2. Next, for the Y parameters, it is instead of current open circuit, in Y parameters, because the Y parameters can be represented as current equations I1 and I2. So Y parameter are simply admittance to the circuit. So similarly, we want to eliminate one value because it is related to the voltage. To make the voltage 0, we can do short circuit, so that to obtain the first column, to obtain the second column, right, to obtain the first column of the Y parameters, we simply short circuit, which means we want to make V2 equals to 0, so that the equation current I1 and I2 can simply be represented as the Y parameters and the V1 values. Thus, we will obtain simply Y11 and Y21, the ratios of I1 and I2 to the voltage input V1. Okay, similarly, the second column of the Y parameter can be obtained by doing short circuit at the input, so that your Y21 and Y22 is simply the ratio of I1 to the V2. The third parameters that we want to investigate is the H parameters. It is actually combination of the short circuit and open circuit test. Okay, because the H parameters is actually represented by the equation of V1 and I2. So therefore, in the equation, you will have the H parameter multiplied by I1 and V2. So you can see here, to solve for the first column, you have to do a short circuit. Because we want to solve for the first column, we let V2 is equals to 0. So to let V2 equals to 0, we do a short circuit at the output. So that we can have H11 and H21 is simply the ratio of V1 to I1, whereas H21 is the ratio of I2 to I1. To solve for the second column of the H parameter, we let I1 equal to 0, meaning that we do an open circuit test. So that you can solve for the value of H12 and H22. So those are the basic concepts from your circuit theory, chapter 19. Okay, for this experiment simulation, you can use any electronic circuit simulation software such as Multisim, Tina, PSpice, or whatever software that you are comfortable with. In the simulation, you need to record all your simulation measurements in the answer sheet template in order for you to calculate for the parameters. You are also to perform the estimation of the parameters using calculation methods. Then you compare the values of the parameters that you obtain through simulation and calculation. Answer all the questions from the answer sheet template, and the answers to the question becomes the discussion to what you found and your justification of your findings. Then you need to submit the complete lab report through UKM Folio. So that's about it. So for this lab, the due date I made, it's going to be Saturday, 27 June, before 12 midnight. Okay, so for some leniency, I will still accept the lab report until Monday. Thank you for your cooperation. I will not hold any class, online class. You can use this short briefing as a guide for you to solve your simulation assignment.